Welcome to episode 380 of In Touch with iOS, the show that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, Vision Pro, Mac, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg, and we have a great full panel this week. I'm so excited. Our guest this week is Mr. Guy Serle. The new podcast is out. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Yeah, check out the G-Men on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and various other places. It's just the G-Men.
It is, and it was a very good show. Good.
Thank you. It was the first one we had done since like April.
That's right. So make sure you update the show notes so I have the current information in your bio. So we have that link. Yeah. So, and also here is Jill McKinley. How you doing, Jill?
I'm doing just great. How are you?
Great. Thanks for being here as always. Appreciate it. Also here's Chuck Joyner. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm good, Dave. I'm guilty of everything I'm accused of.
Oh, goodness.
That's right. Thanks for being here. Eric Bolden is also here. He's got a beautiful butterfly in his background, and glad you're here. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good. Nice, cool day today. It's quite the relief.
Butterfly has
yes, it is. It's very cool here today, here as well. And I believe Marty Jencius is coming first from Chicago. How you doing, Marty?
I'm in the same time zone as Eric and Dave and Jill.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a tough trip out here. Lots of thunderstorms to get through for the first 3 hours, and then it eased up a little bit. But lots of construction on the highway, so things got slowed down a bit. Yeah. And then, of course, we hit the wonderful traffic of Chicago. So I just got here about 20 minutes ago, and my head is big because I don't have the camera adjustment on this laptop, so I could sit back a little bit, but
just pull the mic
far from the mic.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be here finally and settle in with the group.
Glad you're here
and on the
ground.
Ground.
Thank you. Yeah, on the ground. Yes. And last but certainly not least, Jeff Gamet is here. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing all right, and I realized that once again, I am in the Gen X of time zones because I'm in Mountain Time. We're the one everyone forgets about.
Yeah. What you did there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Marty, if your head was any smaller, your glasses wouldn't fit. So it's just the right size.
Did you just call me a pinhead?
No, what I called you is properly proportioned.
I get that a lot.
Oh,
off to a great start. Here. Wow.
Yes. Moving on here. So we've got some great things to talk about. And as it always happens, when Apple announces their quarterly results, it always happens on the day we record our show. And there's no exception today. As we record, Apple did report its quarterly 2025 quarter 4 of 2025 earnings. We'll talk about that in a moment. We've got a lot of beta coverage a little bit and some other things that were released and some great news stories. But let's just jump right in here and talk about the quarterly results. I've got this all just fresh into the show notes. It says right as of today we record. And Apple did today announce their quarterly results, which is ending in June 28th, 2025. They posted a $94 billion quarterly revenue. It's up 10% year over year. And that it's very great to see Apple continue to have some great revenue and sales. And I quote Tim Cook here. He says, "Today, Apple is proud to report a June quarter revenue record high double-digit growth for iPhone, Mac, and services, and growth around the world in every geographic segment." Tim says, and then he says, "At WWDC 25, we were excited to introduce a beautiful new software design that extends across all of the platforms." And he says, "We're going to be announcing some more great Apple Intelligence features." Okay, we'll see. But as always, got to go over to sixcolors.com. Jason Snell does always amazing information and does the pie charts we always love to see and the way it was broken down and revenue. So basically, Mac revenue was up 15%. That's so great to hear. I'm so excited Mac is doing so well. iPhone was up 13%. Services up 13%. The wearables home accessories category was down 9%, and iPad up. Revenue was also down 8%. So that's a little interesting. So breaking it down, iPhone's not 47% of Apple's revenue. That's dropped a bit because it's always been around 51%. Then you got services at 29%, and the wearables at 8%, Mac at 9%, iPad at 7%. Going through the Mac revenue, as I said, it was 8 billion. Is that billion? No, it's 8 billion in sales and Mac revenue, and year over year was up about 15%, as I said. So, and the iPad revenue was around 6.6. I talked about what was up here, and then the year over year was -8. And so iPhone revenue continues to shine here at 44.6 billion. Numbers are down a little bit. I mean, it was 46.8 in Q2, and Q1 was at 69%. So. But we're coming up with a new iPhone here pretty soon here, as we always do after this first reporting here. But and then the services continues to skyrocket, 27.4 billion in revenue, and I think you're going to see that even more with the AppleCare One plan that just got announced. We're going to touch upon that a little more because we talked about it right when it came out last week. So I wanted to hit a little bit on that, and then. Year over year was 13% for services, and Apple's gross margin 46.5 billion. So overall looks like some absolutely great numbers. I can't see how anybody could be too unhappy as a stockholder that how well Apple really did. So I've got links in the show notes for all the great information here, and as well as the transcript. Jason Snell was great to put he actually posted the transcript right there. So we'll go through that. And some of the takeaways that we find here, iPhone's popularity. They did say, Tim Cook did say that the iPhone 16 models were more popular than the iPhone 15 models were last year. And that Tim said that the sales increased on 16s in strong double digits compared to the iPhone 15, with the 16 popular with users upgrading to a new model. So it was probably a good timing thing, I would think, where it came as far as doing the upgrade. It's a great thing to see as far as iPhone sales, and the other thing was 3 billion iPhones were sold. So it's just Apple iPhone continues to be very popular. Tim also talked about AI, where that Apple's very open to an acquisition that would accelerate the AI development's roadmap. We've been talking about this, and AI is one of the most profound technologies of our lifetime, Cook said, adding that Apple is significantly growing its investments and relocating people to work on AI at the company. And we're putting all of our energy behind it. So, well, I hope we see that as far as the results too. And we talk about tariffs. We know that's going to be a struggle. I don't need to go down that road because that gets political, but it is what it is, what's going to happen. Post iPhone devices, Cook was asked about AI development and what Apple would do. It's dependent on screen diminishes, and Cook says it's difficult to see where a world of the iPhone is not living in it. So people thinking that the iPhone is doomed, right? Just like Apple's doomed, right? And then services, as I said, amazing numbers, record at revenue, and Apple continues to go through and do that. So, Chuck, I want to start with you. I know this is probably fresh in your mind, or unless you did you listen to the earnings call? So you probably are in on it. So
I did. You know, these things always are. There's a little bit of spin to them, and that's okay. That's the way it should be. But I thought Tim answered the questions because you already covered the results, so I'm going to just jump right to the questions.
Yeah.
You know, there's always somebody that tries to push him and ask something that he's not going to answer. I don't understand why they waste their question on that because there's so many other answers. But I felt like, they parried along. He addressed some of the Apple Intelligence questions. Initially, he made a few comments, about that, but then he dove in just a little bit more and talked about the fact that they are introducing some new features, more features coming, and it just I always feel like there's a bit of jousting going on, but I feel like that Tim is so good and studied, and he does not have a problem with saying, we don't comment on that, or I'd rather have you look at it this way. And I fully recognize that there's spin there, and I fully recognize that I'm a biased audience. But still, when I listen to other things and see other CEOs talk about their financial results, unless they're just glowing, it always feels like they're a little bit on the defensive. And I never feel that way with Tim.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, what about you? What did you have a chance to read through all this, or is you just now hearing it?
I've had a difficult schedule today, so
I figured
the first chance I've had to get exposure to any of the earnings report was listening to your excellent recap. And
okay, great, thank you.
So the thing that stands out to me from just hearing you give me a recap is Tim Cook saying Apple is open to an AI acquisition, and so I did a quick search online to see what else I could find about that, and there's an answer that he gave to another question where someone asked about if LLMs could be a commodity in the future, and Cook didn't answer, saying that gives away some things about our strategy. So these very limited statements about AI, this suddenly became the most interesting thing in the entire earnings report for me. So my take right now, just my knee-jerk reaction, Tim just told the rest of the industry, we're on the hunt, we have very deep pockets, we're buying stuff, watch out.
All right. Guy, how about you? Or did you go through this today?
Well, I think Rogue Amoeba's apps are really kind of best. Oh, wait, no, we're talking about something else completely.
But Guy, you're right.
Yeah, my power went out. My power went out, which is suddenly disappeared. I don't, it's like it's the same thing with every earnings report. Apple makes lots of money, or at least every earnings report for the last 15 to 20 years. And the fact that Apple is looking to buy into an AI or to an LLM is not really a big surprise. I think the only question is, other than because people expect them to, why would they? Because they seem to be doing okay with what they've rolled out, with what they've purposely rolled out instead of what they've actually announced that they're going to roll out. So I gotta kind of question, are they actually going to buy one, or is this just a way to get some of the LLMs to maybe start inquiring to Apple about an acquisition as compared to, just an out and out buy? So we'll see what happens, but I think that Tim Cook dodging the question is quite telling.
Yeah. Marty, how about you? What were your thoughts?
You're muted, Marty.
You're muted, Marty.
Sorry. I've just seen it coming in to this hotel about 20 minutes ago. One of the things I noticed was some of the reporters or some of the people asking questions. Like, one of the questions was about Vision Pro, and they said, are you going to stick with with Vision Pro as it is? Are you going to make some changes in it? Considering Meta and Xiaomi is doing so well with their glasses. And I'm like, what glasses? There is no comparison between those two products, Vision Pro and whatever they're calling glasses on the Meta side. So I just kind of feel there's a lot of, they're trying to bait him in a lot of ways in some of the questions, particularly around this issue. I think if they purchase an LLM, and they're definitely going to make it revenue generating, it's going to be part of their added on product, if you want to call it that way, to what they have. So,
yeah. And Jill, what are your thoughts?
Well, I was intrigued also by the AI. I had heard rumors that they were trying to buy Perplexity, which I think is top notch, and that would be a great AI to buy for them. And I'm hoping that that is true because that would be exciting for me. But the thing I liked about the earnings report is that it feels to me that they're earning money the right way. I guess that's my takeaway. I'm not a business person, but Google makes it by selling your data, and Microsoft makes it because it has captive business people and captive gamers, that can't get away because most of the games and most of the work apps are with Microsoft. And so it feels to me like, yeah, we charge a little bit more for our devices, but we are giving you quality stuff and we're providing for your security and we're not selling your data and we're not capturing you in some kind of system. And that's the thing that I take away from their earnings report is they're earning money. It feels to me like the right way.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, Eric.
I guess the thing I found interesting was seeing the revenue change in China. Because for a while the sales there had really been depressed and for a variety of reasons, and seeing that kind of recover a little bit, it'll be interesting to watch over the next few quarters to see kind of how that shakes out. As far as the LLM stuff, I'm beginning to think it's sort of like screens, like Samsung and whoever else is being negotiated with for as a screen supplier. They're just treating the LLMs like another component that can get swapped in or swapped out or added. And if there's some friendly competition between the suppliers, that's all well and good. And if they can keep the flexibility to keep shifting things around, that lets them put in their own or add others. So that's something that Tim Cook has always been really good at. So, dealing with supply chain.
From looking at the report, there have been people who've been calling for Tim Cook's head over and over again. Yeah. And, 13% increase over last year's similar quarter. Yeah. I think Tim Cook should be drawn and quartered, preferably with a little melted garlic butter.
Everything's better with garlic butter. Gosh. All right. Let's go on and move on to In Touch with Vision Pro this week. I want to continue on a little bit of the highlights from the earnings call, get a little briefly focused on what was discussed on the Vision Pro. As you said, Apple did acknowledge internal and external concerns about the Vision Pro's future as a consumer product. We knew that, right, guys? That we don't know where this is going to go because of its pricing. Let's face it. I mean, for consumers, it's not, as I talk to people at work and other places, I say, oh, I got a Vision Pro, and they're all excited, but then, they remember it's $3,500. But I said, go and take the demo. You'd love it. And, all that. So, but Apple does acknowledge it. I think it's still a pretty new product. Don't you think, Marty? Are you surprised? I don't think we're surprised that Apple said this.
No, and I think they're working on a plan that will get a consumer-based product sometime in the future. Just they're not sharing it out like it's going to be the next step as the competitors are. And it's sort of like it's all tooth and no bite with what other competitors are showing. They're getting people ginned up around a product that doesn't exist yet. So I think Apple has got a plan. I have no doubt that they're looking at extending spatial computing and augmented reality in different levels with different products.
Yep. Derek, anything to add on that?
No, I think Apple is making all of the right moves at the right time, and I think once the OS 26 versions come out and we see some of those changes, there are plenty of movies and clips and apps that are starting to come out now. And I mean, the thing that's really neat about the Vision Pro is you get to see a working product and work with it now. The only complaint is the price, not that it's not good enough to let you do anything. maybe some weight issues, but you can still develop and test with it, and that's something that's not necessarily true anywhere else. So we get to live the future now. We're just waiting for a device that more people can have, and hopefully once that device exists, then we'll see more sports stuff and things that involve licensing where you need a larger population of consumers.
I'm not going to go through everybody. I open it up to the panel if anybody else wants to add anything about that discussion with Vision Pro.
Well, basically, the Vision Pro is a very expensive developer beta, and that's kind of where it's been for a long time. So, since it came out. So, the fact that so many people are like, well, we want to know more about what you're going to do with this product is just, it's nonsense. Don't worry about it. Apple will let you know when they've got something that they want to put out that they expect people to line up and buy in droves. Nobody was going to line up and in droves and buy the Vision Pro at $3,500. I don't think that that's a surprise to anyone. So, the fact that so many people might be calling for Tim Cook's head based on something like the Vision Pro, it's like, have you looked at how well Apple has done for the last 15 years, each and every quarter? Have you looked to see how much cash they have in reserves to do things like, buy an LLM or, to buy other products that can be integrated into existing products? It's like, don't worry so much about what Tim Cook is doing. He's leading the ship as far as making money in the right direction. Now, if you want to question, where is Apple going as a company as far as product releases go, fine, but then point to something that someone else is doing that Apple isn't either already doing or doing better.
Yeah.
And
Anybody else want anything to add?
Well, I was going to say, I mentioned this, I do a lot of things with my Oculus. I don't like Meta as a company. I think they sell all our data, and it's not that big of a quality device, but it cost me $300. And I would love to replace it with an Apple Vision Pro, but I want to replace those experiences, the exercise, the world travel, the going around in space. And so I'm waiting for that day where I can say, everything I experience on Oculus that I really enjoy, I'm finding now on Apple Vision Pro.
Mm-hmm.
That's my day.
Okay.
I'm just going to add one more time that the everybody seems to be trying to compare these two products that are nothing alike.
Right.
They have completely different purposes, completely different audiences. The Vision Pro is not something that you're going to want to wear around outside. But conversely, the Meta glasses aren't something necessarily I would want to wear around inside. So it's like okay, one is apples, one is oranges, and you want to sing the praises of one or the other, or both of them at the same time in their markets. That's fine, but this constant thing of trying to say this is better, Apple's losing the war, Meta's winning it, or now who else? I think, Marty, did you say Xiaomi? I think, there other people are coming in, but they're coming into the Meta side of the market. They aren't really venturing into the experience that the Vision Pro offers.
The Oculus is a cheap date.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Guy.
The Oculus is a cheap date as compared to Vision Pro.
But it's good. I mean, I don't want to say that it's a toy and it's not garbage and it looks great inside. And all the things that I do in there, I could do in Apple. There's no reason I couldn't do it in Apple. It just hasn't gotten there yet. So I don't compare them as apples to oranges. I compare them as one is a mature product that's been around for, a decade. And one is brand new and it's going to find its place, but it hasn't yet for me.
Yeah. All right. just to summarize all this, the business outlook, what we talked about is it's questioned about consumer, as well as security. Updates are being released all the time on Vision OS, so we'll talk about that in a minute here. The software updates, there's some amazing updates that Marty and Eric and I already know about that in the developer beta that has some great new updates in the software that's going to make it even more of an attractive device to work with. And then other thing is the competition. Samsung's going to have its upcoming XR headset, which we assume is going to come out sometime. They have announced it, 3, 4, 5 months ago, something like that. But once competition's out there, then Apple's going to start seeing, okay, we need to step up here, and they look at what Samsung's doing and see where that's a comparison. So, but again, Apple tends to not worry about that too much, as we all know. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. And I'll just mention that Apple did release Vision OS 2.6 for those who don't brave the beta like Marty, Eric, and I. And it did come out in September, so it took 2 months after its launch of 2.5, and it can be downloaded. The release notes say it just focuses on bug fixes, under the hood improvements. Really, no feature updates in 2.6, but we wouldn't really know because we aren't running it. So, but that's what they say, and that's about it I can say for Vision Pro. So beta this week, the big thing that happened out this week was iOS 18.6 was released. So they released it out, I believe it was Monday of this week, Monday or Tuesday. It was Monday. Yep, I remember coming in. So one of the big things that it fixed is the photos related bug that can prevent users from being able to share memory movies in the Photos app, as well as bug fixes, security updates. It's actually a pretty serious update that I would say you should update as soon as possible, because there's over 20 security fixes right now that were released as far as that goes. And I'm not going to go through all of the changes here, but when I say there's going to be that many bug fixes and security updates, you really need to jump on it and get it up to date, because it's really important to get that going. Everybody here update yet? I know, Chuck, you always wait for a few days, right?
I wait for a few days. I haven't seen anything that makes me not want to update, so I'll probably be doing it this weekend. And it's always nice to see that nothing has happened, but I'd rather let you guys crash and burn than.
I look around here. My primary iPhone, I'm on 18.6. I don't mess around, but I have it on my other devices. I think everybody else here is on beta. Jeff, you're not on your iPhone, so
not on my iPhone. I know you. I don't. But I'm on 18.6 now.
But you updated on 18.6, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't run any operating system that doesn't have 26 somewhere in the title.
I figured as much. Are you on beta too? I forget.
I'm not on beta on my phone. No.
Okay, good. So you already updated and ready to go?
Yes, to 18.6.
All right. And then Apple did release watchOS 11.6. That was an update from 11.5, and it's compatible with Series 6 and later, and the SE2. Updates, just again, bug fixes, security updates, the old normal stuff. Not that much to talk about there. It updated pretty quickly. I let it update overnight, because usually I like Jeff. I like to force update them right away. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the HomePods. HomePods 18.6 was released. I didn't notice anything different in the HomePods. I'm sure you didn't, Jeff, right?
Nope. Still has the same problems it's always had.
Yeah. Yep. So, and then tvOS 18.6 was released too. I ran that update yesterday, and again, there's not much to share about that other than some full release notes in their support document, but I don't think there really was much. Just as they always say, updates includes performance and stability improvements. So
there's
not much to talk about.
Security patches across the board
and security. Yeah, for sure. So, all right, and then we did talk about the beta. So iOS 26 was released last week on the 22nd of July. So.
Again
and there goes Siri. I didn't even say it.
Yeah, they haven't fixed that bug, have they?
No, they haven't. That was on HomePod too.
Yeah.
They did seed a version of the public betas. That was last week for all the versions out, so the public can use it. But they hadn't released one yet for iPhone 11, which iPhone 11 still is supported. So they just released the version for iPhone 11 this past week, Apple did not seed it, and it's made it the public beta. It has a different build number, and basically on the 11 they fixed if you had organized your apps into folders on your home screen, you might only see the leftmost column on the grid of apps when opening a folder. The other two columns in the folder do not display the app icons, prevent users from launching those apps. So iOS 26 does include, of course, the liquid glass design aesthetic, but I don't know if that's going to be much on 11 because 11 is a pretty old model and a slower processor. So, but that's out. So, for those of you who have iPhone 11, and then a couple things here. iOS 26 messaging filter is upsetting fundraising politicians that want to annoy iPhone users. This was interesting. Apple will automatically be sorting unknown text into a new category in iOS 26 that's irritating political groups that rely on donations via their spam text. Did you put this in here, Marty?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
No,
okay.
Somebody put it in, but I love it.
I put it in.
I love it.
Oh, you did, Jill? Okay. Thank you. Because I didn't see who it was. So text message filtering is based on carrier spam lists and third-party apps that have existed on the iPhone for years. Apple is expanding that capability to improve sorting with iOS 26, but that could lead to other issues. According to a letter that was shared by Punchbowl News that was first discovered by Daring Fireball, iOS 26 could severely impact political groups and their ability to solicit donations from their users. Where? So good stuff.
Who?
Yeah. So without getting very political here, I'm glad to see them doing this. Yeah. Now, go ahead, Jeff. Tell us what you really think.
I don't have any strong opinions about this. No.
No.
Okay. So here's the deal.
Liar.
You have a problem with
liar.
Yeah. My nose got bigger, didn't it? Okay, if you have a problem, regardless of who you are and what you represent, if you have a problem with how I receive and manage content that's coming into my phone, then just go as they say on the Battlestar Galactica, go frack off. And I might be a little more sympathetic. Okay, not more sympathetic. I might have a modicum of sympathy because right now I have none for political groups if they would at least target me accurately. And for example, I don't need to know about some radical candidate in a county in the middle of Alabama.
Are you sure?
Why not?
Pretty sure, but maybe I need a couple more of those spam text messages just to be certain. If they've come from Eric. Well played, sir. No, but the thing is, if you want people to be more tolerant of the political messages that you're spamming them with, you should at least make sure that you're in the right area for that person. The majority of spam political stuff that I get is for stuff outside Colorado, and has someone else's name attached to it. You're like, hey, Chuck, you need to come and vote for our candidate that's against babies and puppies, or whatever. Get it right, people will be more tolerant. But as it stands right now,
babies versus puppies political action group.
Right, yeah. Until they get it right, I have no sympathy for them at all. Let this stuff get filtered out. They need to find more effective ways to raise their funds anyhow.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. Anybody else want to make comment on this?
Yeah, I contribute to the political party or parties that I want to when I want to. I don't need constant pestering. And Jeff, I think they're asking for that radical person in Alabama and they're going nationally asking for that because they're not going to get the finance support they're going to get locally to be able to run that election as they are. So I have some sympathy for that.
I'm sure you're right.
But frankly, I know I make decisions about my contributions and I contribute them. Pestering me multiple times a day is not going to help me change my giving rate or what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
anybody else?
To any political party.
The question I guess I want to ask is the powers that be, the internet powers that be, seem to be so good at targeting us for anything and everything we do online. How can the political parties be missing the mark as much as they do? If I do a search on Marty's microphone and pull it up in my web browser, I'm going to be inundated tomorrow with information, advertisements, references to Marty's microphone. But and if I go and buy something, I swear it's the same way if I buy something on my credit card. I get follow-ups all the time as if I'm going to buy 25 more of them. But with the political parties, they don't seem to get it. And so I just wonder if they're not hiring the right people, because to Jeff's point, maybe I would be less annoyed. Maybe it would be more effective. But and maybe, and I don't mind saying this because I'm registered independent, during the last election, I was getting a ton of mail calls and texts and everything from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, that actually made sense to me because they figured I'm on the fence. They're one of I'm one that they can't count on. So yeah, woo me by all means. Cash would have been welcome. But it just, I'm really intrigued by the lack of technological prowess that is being applied to the political parties.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, I can answer that very, very quickly. Number one, as far as being independent, that had nothing to do with the phone calls that you got. It was they were spamming everybody's phones at every opportunity that they had. And the reason why we get so many texts and notifications and everything else having to do with elections that we have nothing to do with isn't so much a matter of technical prowess as it is they don't want to spend the money to filter out all, because it's much less expensive to just send it to everybody than it is to apply a paid for filter so that it only goes to certain numbers of people. It's easier just to send it to everybody, and it sucks. And every single time an election is coming up, especially national elections, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like for the midterms next year. It's the sense of urgency that they put on everything. Like, okay, world's dying tomorrow if you don't contribute, $19.99 a month to, save puppies and kittens or whatever. And it's distressing that it's come to this, that they won't even spend the money to filter it out so that you're not bothering the people that have nothing to do with whatever election it is that's coming up.
Yes.
Go
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say that it's not necessarily even the two primary parties. They might even behave, but if a candidate's running low on money or needs a little extra, they sell their list to political action committees, and they blanket everything without restriction. So I think the change that Apple's making is brilliant. I fully support it. And if it makes them back off trying to send to people who are never going to get the message, that's just a plus.
I was going to say that I put the article in because I did turn that on. And just today, it stopped 12 phone calls from coming. And some people actually went through and said what the phone call was for because it asked them. I guess what it is, and they flat out said marketing. I just registered a domain name, and so now they're all trying to get me to buy web services and everything else like that because I didn't get privacy put in there fast enough. But today, 12 messages. I worked during the day. I have my phone there, and it was great. And so I was excited to see this, and I can't wait, for all those things to just go nowhere. So I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Mac, in touch with macOS this week, or Mac. They did release Sequoia 15.6. That was a pretty big update with security updates, and which is going, of course, to be replaced by macOS Tahoe very soon in beta 26. It does have some bug fixes, security updates, and companies already are up and updating this right away because there are some vulnerabilities here. So you want to make sure you're updating. I already updated. I hope everybody here is on Sequoia that is updated to 15.6. So that is that for that update. And then one of the interesting things here I found and of course, like I said, macOS 26, macOS Tahoe is still in beta as of last week. So what we talked about last week hasn't really changed much. But this one's kind of interesting: how to take full control of your control center in macOS Tahoe. You can add controls, remove the ones you don't want, and arrange them in a way that makes sense to you. And Apple has made a drastic improvement in Control Center for the Mac, where you can actually do customizations very similar to iOS or iPadOS, that you can rearrange the controls and set it the way you want, which is a significant shift from previous versions because it's pretty limited on the Sequoia right now. You really can't do much customization. So, and I just installed my Tahoe on my MacBook Air that I use as my secondary device that I travel with most of the time. So now I'm going to get some good feeling with Tahoe before I get to it when it's on a full-time device. So, but to see this in the control centers and where you can do it, like I said, it's really easy to add and remove control center controls by editing controls. I mean, pretty much it's the same as where you find on, like I said, iOS and iPadOS. So, Marty, Eric, anybody who's running beta, have you tried this?
I love it. I never use Control Center, and I would have some Control Center envy when we would sit around and people would talk about Control Center stuff, because you just flip it up and you go to the Control Center and you do that. I was always going back to systems and, finding what I needed to change through systems instead of going to Control Center. Having it on my desktop screen with macOS 26, I just absolutely love it. I can pull it down. I can do whatever I need to have done on it. It's just, and I can drop out stuff that I'll never use anyways and put things in that I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add anything about this new feature in Tahoe?
I agree with Marty. I've been trying it and it's great. It's just been great.
Yeah, I've got it on my laptop. I don't have it on my main machine. And so far, I have not run into any bugs with any version of the developer beta I've been using, including, and we talked about this on Tuesday, Rogue Amoeba apps, which is first.
Which is impressive.
Yeah.
I have some bartender issue that's not working on my MacBook Air, and I don't know if it's related to 26, but that's so far the only thing I've seen. But otherwise, spectacular.
Yeah. So, all right. And let's move on. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the AppleCare One program. One of the things that I was really excited about is the fact that it is compatible with the iPhone upgrade program. I know I am on this program as well as Chuck. That there was a quick addendum that was added to the AppleCare One program that debuted last week. It is compatible to the program in the United States. iPhone upgrade program members will receive AppleCare Plus with theft and loss coverage as part of their monthly payment. Can now switch to AppleCare One if they prefer. It might be possible to save a bit of money in doing so. Dan Morin covered this in 6 colors. He had a post here, and he talked to an Apple spokesperson that told him that the iPhone upgrade program subscribers can contact Apple support and unbundle their coverage from the financing and then upgrade to AppleCare One. I don't know how much how much you're really going to save. They really didn't specify it. So then, plus you do have to spend the time talking to Apple support. But I mean, if you get the credit back from what you do, then that'd be great. I mean, all the other products we talked about last week is you are, Marty, you said you got about $400 worth of credit from the other program, the other versions, and then now you're just paying the $19.99 a month, and you just have to do the math, really, as far as what there's going to be anything different. I linked them back here again as far as what's compared and compared. There is even a comparison here on Apple Insider to comparing Apple One versus AppleCare Plus, and they did some comparisons here. I mean, I think bottom line here is I think it. A lot of people are subscription tired, I guess it is, that they really don't want to be another subscription I gotta subscribe to. But if it's going to save you money in the long run, you can do the math and see if it's best for you. Marty, you're the only one that switched so far. I haven't done it yet. Has anybody else here gone on it?
Not yet.
Nope. So it's you're the lone person right now. I'm going to start looking at it.
Let me tell you some of the articles, and I looked. They have bad information in it. For example, they say your iPhone you can get for $9.99 a month. No, not if you have an iPhone, 16 Pro Max, because that is like $13 a month. So you lose. You are depending on the product, and you have to be specific about the product. Same thing with Pro iPads or Pro iPads with M4. Those kinds of things you need to get clear about what your AppleCare Plus subscription is really costing you, because the general statement will say, "Oh, it's $9.99 a month for the phone." That's not the case. They'll say it's $4.99 for an iPad. That's not the case for iPad Pro and iPad Pro with M1 versions in it or M4 versions in it. So there's different. The coverages are different among certain product lines, and that's where you can find some cost savings.
Yeah. Jeff, you just put this in our private chat. This is an amazing find you have here. This is the actual Apple calculator that it will calculate it for you.
I think Chuck, was it on Mac Voices Live where I made a comment about how I'm surprised we didn't already have a website that was a calculator for the AppleCare plans?
It was.
And today, I think it's today, might have been yesterday, there's now a website that does that, iCare-calculator.versal.app. Anyhow, so you add in the devices you have, and it gives you a chart about the best way to price out your AppleCare.
Nice find. I want to try that out now. Yeah. We have that link in the show notes, so make sure you grab that. This is awesome. Anything else that people want to add about AppleCare? Chuck, have you started looking at this yet?
I've looked just very, very cursorily, Dave. It's something I definitely want to look at, because in a couple months the iPhone trade-in program will be kicking in. So I kind of put it off to the side until I saw Dan Morin's piece. And then it's like, okay, now I really need to pay attention to this. Because before it felt like, I guess the main things I would want to protect would be my MacBook Pro and my watch would be the two candidate things. The iPad I'm rocking is, it's got some age on it. I'm not sure it's worth it at this point to try to do so. But now I can just pull down the menu thanks to Jeff and do some calculations.
Jeff. I've got your back.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Got all our backs here. So I'm going to look at this very closely.
Yeah.
When we get a chance here. So, all right. So that is the topics we have. Let's go on and move on to some of the news this week. I put this as a kind of like, I'm shocked. The news story here. The Apple Store in Caesars Palace in Las Vegas is temporarily closing next month. Apple today announced that that was actually yesterday as we record, that its store in the Forum Shops in Las Vegas area will be temporarily closed between August 9th and August 31st. I've been in that store many times. I'm sure you have, Chuck, and many of us have visited Vegas. do not provide a reason for the closure, and they don't expect any major changes. The Forum Shops is a big shopping mall inside Caesar's Palace, and it's a huge place, lots of great stores. So while the stores close, Apple says customers can go a mile down the street of the Strip at the fashion show store. So interestingly enough, they have another store not about a mile away from each other. But the good thing is the fashion show, it's still in a mall, so you still have to go inside a mall to get to it. But no reasoning why they're doing this. There's been a lot of activity going on with the stores. The Apple Bristol store in England and the Apple Parkland store in China will be permanently closing on that same day. And it's also the same day that the Apple Shady Side in Pittsburgh will be opening a new location on Walnut Street. So any comments about the stores? I mean, I've just seen a lot of activity lately. Tim Marty said in our chat, they're getting tigers. What do you think? Go ahead. What do you think, Marty?
Yeah, they said temporarily closed. What could that be? Maybe they're putting on a Vision Pro room. Maybe they're installing tigers because it's Caesar Palace. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, Dave, is it true that you start up iMacs in Las Vegas by pulling a handle?
Yes. It's finished booting when coins come out. If no coins come out, you have to keep putting more in to get it to finish booting.
Thought so.
What do you think, Chuck?
I think this is probably just some internal work, maybe a little refurbishment. Marty's comment about a Vision Pro room is a really interesting one.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't recall, I'm trying to think of what's on either side of that store because I've spent a lot of time in that Apple store.
Me too.
And I don't. The only other guess I could make is, would they be taking over some space from one of the adjacent stores that may have gone out? So that would be, and it may be nothing the public ever sees. It may be strictly back end. I'm sorry to see it, but I'm glad I'm not going to be in Vegas while it's down because that was always one of my favorite ones to go to.
Well,
me too.
Are any of these stores like major Apple stores, or is it mostly, even the Vegas store is kind of like a middle of the road as far as an Apple store goes, but any of the big stores closing for renovations?
No. Like, this isn't Chicago, Michigan Avenue. This is a mall-sized store.
Okay. Well,
so it's not a big
think of
store.
Would be that there was like some new product or category that they wanted to focus on, and these stores were kind of like, okay, well, here's your next look at what's coming up. But it sounds like it's just a coincidence, maybe.
I think it's renovations.
It has to be.
I'm just curious what you do in Vegas all this time. I mean, how do you keep going to Vegas? What's
conferences? So many conferences.
How can you not go to Vegas, Joe?
I've been there once.
Into Vegas, other than going through the airport.
Yeah. I just wonder what people do there. It's like I know they gamble.
Jill, what I do, I go to conferences, and then I make sure that I know where Chuck is because he's like the Vegas whisperer. And if you want to know where the great places are to go, just hang around Chuck, and he'll make sure you get there.
Okay.
Yeah. I have goals though, because he gets skittish after a while.
Well, that's why I keep some Valium with me.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So I have two.
We're going down.
I have two Vegas modes. One is what Jeff said, conferences. If you go for conferences, you do one thing and one thing only, and that's the conference. If you go for fun, then the rest of the city is yours. And there's always something new and always stuff you want to repeat.
I have never been to Vegas because the field that I work in counseling, they're not going to hold their conferences. There's gambling addiction, alcohol addiction, prostitution. It's not the town for a counseling conference.
Or is it?
Or is it? I'm getting away from it.
Disappeared. We don't know where they are.
Pick up a lot of customers.
I'm getting away from this conversation.
Be like a live lab.
I asked ChatGPT about that same question. What stores are nearby? And I think Tiffany, Gucci, and Nike are right nearby there. So that's in a pretty prime area over there in that section of the mall. So so interesting. That's for sure. So then next story here was JPMorgan is close to closing on getting the Apple Card, and they're taking over the card program. There's been reports here. It's very, very close to a deal to get the Apple Card. It's glad to finally hear this. Has been going on for it's got to be close to 2 years now. It's been kind of really quite a while. We haven't heard really much of anything. This is like I said, they're in advanced talks with Apple about the becoming Apple Card's new financial partner. This was according to the Wall Street Journal. Of course, JPMorgan owns Chase Bank, one of the largest banks and chains in the United States. I do a lot of business with Chase, and in 2023 is when this was originally talked about. That Goldman Sachs wanted out. So we're about 2 years now since this was put in the press here. This is going to be interesting to see where this goes. The other thing, too, is this potential that Visa and American Express had expressed interest in taking over the processing over MasterCard. So that could change. I know Chase is a pretty big issuer of Visa cards. So, but this is going to be interesting. I just hope to God that it doesn't change the way it is now, because I really enjoy having that account and getting the 3% cash on on a lot of things, and then 2% on everything else. Works great with Apple Pay, easy to manage. You get the payment plans and when you want, and all that stuff.
It just goes right into your savings account.
Exactly, and having the savings account that's at right now it's right around 3.6% interest. So that's a nice perk too. What do you think, Chuck, on this?
I'm sorry, I was distracted by a comment in the chat room, Dave, and I was not listening. Sorry.
So it's true.
The Apple Card.
Puppies.
No, I don't hate puppies. I was defending myself against Webb.
We were talking about the Apple Card and Chase possibly taking this over.
Somebody's going to take it over. So it might as well be one of the bigger banks. The one thing I did read about this was that, and something I did not know, but apparently Apple Card does not charge for late payments.
Not that I've never been late, but
I'm the same way, Dave. So I don't know if it's because you already have something on file or whatever, but that was the surprise. So I can understand why all things a credit card company might be a bit upset over that, but we'll see.
This must have been negotiated with Apple. I mean, obviously a lot of the terms. I mean, of course Apple has to agree to what the bank is willing to do too. And Goldman Sachs obviously was very, very open apparently to when this card started. God, it's been 6 years now? 2019 is when it started. And I think most of us here, if not all of us, have had the card since day one.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly when I guess the agreement runs out, if it does. But I thought that it still had a couple of years to go.
But they want out.
And Goldman wants out. Yeah, so.
Mm-hmm. So that's why they're looking for a buyer.
Yeah.
Jeff, anything to add on this?
When it became pretty clear that Goldman Sachs really was getting out of this and it wasn't just speculation, my assumption was that it would either be Chase or Citibank that takes over, because those are the two big names when you have branded cards. So, yeah, it was going to be one or the other, ultimately. I never expected Amex to be the company that took it over, Chase or Citi.
Okay. Anybody else want to add anything? All right. Let's go ahead and move on to yet another AirTag luggage airline is joining up with Apple AirTags on luggage tracking. It's now supported by 30 airline carriers. As we all know about what the AirTag is, it's been around since iOS 18.2. It's got live tracking link with the AirTag, all that. Saudi Arabia gets shared the item location support when that was announced. The share location support feature in the AirTag It also started working with more than 15 airlines to implement the system that would let users securely share a live link of the tracked item and help recover misplaced luggage faster. Since then, the original list has been more than doubled, and now that Saudi, the national airline carrier of Saudi Arabia, has joined in and is part of this initiative. So right now, you've got a long list here, and the primary airlines in the United States: American, United, Delta, is on there, as well as Virgin Atlantic is in the UK, but they're across the world. There's a lot of Lufthansa, and Air Canada, Air India, Air New Zealand. And so there's a lot of great, a much better list of these supporting with the AirTag. What do you think, Guy, on this?
It only makes sense because if more and more people are using AirTags on their luggage, then when inevitably something goes awry and their luggage goes in one direction while they go in another, airlines can spend less time and less manpower trying to track it down. The customer will already know, well, it's here, so you need to get it over here. And it's just easier for them. And it's really, when you think about it, almost zero cost for the airlines to support it.
Yep.
Most of them already have Wi-Fi on the planes, so
easy.
Yeah, that's getting better. Jill, what do you think?
Well, I mentioned before that I had an airline tell me that they didn't know where my luggage was, and I said, I can tell you where it is. It's gate 25 in Denver Airport. I see it on my thing. I see that you have 2 more flights coming to Sacramento from Denver tonight. And then when it didn't get on plane 1, I called them and I said, you told me you were going to get it on plane 1, get it on plane 2. And they did. And I was able to actually tell them that. And I think it's just fantastic because also I had my luggage lost in the past, way back in, the 80s. And they give you money, to compensate you for, if they don't have to do that, because they can now find your luggage. This is great for everybody. I want my luggage. I don't want money.
Yeah. What do you think, Marty?
All the Turkish airlines that I've flown, plus other international airlines, Qatar Airlines is not on there, which is what I've flown to Singapore before. But it's a great lineup. It covers everything that I would want domestically. I might have told this story, but I lost a AirTag back at Cleveland Hopkins Airport back in the luggage area. And it went for like 18 months. Every time I go to the airport, I'd see it that it was back there somewhere in luggage. My luggage got through, but the AirTag didn't go through. And I absolutely refused to shut the damn thing off and give it to someone else back there. So,
Eric, how about you?
This is just great. Yeah, the stress relief of knowing kind of where your stuff is and even being able to kind of confirm, it made it onto the plane with you before you ever get to your destination airport. Just stress relief alone, this is worth it. Even if you don't lose anything, it's nice. And if you happen to have luggage that looks remarkably similar to everybody else on your plane, when it goes around on the luggage rack, it's like 5 feet, 0 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet. Oh, wait, gotta wait for it to go around again. Oh, yeah, it's coming up. Go grab that one. Yeah, it's like a video game at the airport. It's great.
Yeah, the thing though is you keep getting those reports that you've been separated from your luggage. When you're at the airport. I know I've been separated from my luggage. I do not want to go in under the plane to be closer to my luggage.
And then, Jeff, what's your thoughts?
Okay, like everyone else, I agree. This is great. Here's where I have the problem. We should be excited about this because it's a value add where it makes it easier for us to follow our luggage's travel path. The reality is this is a necessity because airlines provide a very poor quality service when it comes to managing luggage.
Yes.
And And this isn't about offering us something that's a value add. It's about trying to figure out where our fracking luggage is because they can't keep track of it.
Right.
Yep.
I'm Mr. Cranky Pants tonight, aren't I?
You are. But the cool thing now is there's so many other devices that are out there. I just kind of want to spin on this because I've really become obsessed with these devices. This here is a credit card I'm showing on camera. It's made by a company called Spot Finders, and it's a credit card size Find My device. So I can sync this through Find My, put it in my wallet, and now I'm not looking for my wallet anymore because I always have a problem where I put my wallet somewhere. Where is my wallet? I'm running around the house trying to figure it out. As long as now it's in here, because putting an AirTag in a wallet is not exactly comfortable. So you're starting to see more and more of these types of devices beyond what the AirTag is. AirTag hasn't been updated in 2-3 years, I think it is. So to have these type of devices, and this thing's really loud too, because you can really hear it, because the AirTag sometimes is kind of faint. You can't really hear it. I've got them on my keys, and I've got them in, but I'm starting to put these in my. I have this on my luggage tag on my backpack, and I've had this in my wallet, and that's really what you're seeing now with AirTags. And why can't I put this in my luggage too when I just traveled last week? So it's not. I wouldn't put it in the luggage tag because who's not going to just take it, So I put it inside the bag here, and I know AirTag can do that too, but. It's great to see that you're seeing more and more different types of devices beyond just the AirTag that Apple now allows being able to be compatible with Find My with that. So
I'm actually starting to see some GPS trackers that don't alert people when they're attached to it's for anti-car theft and things like that. And of course it could be used for nefarious reasons as well.
Right.
But these, we're at a point now where there is so much coverage all over the world that if you lose something or you want to know where your thing is, if you're not there in front of it, it's relatively easy to say, find my thing, and it'll go out and get it.
Yeah. I was going to say, I have a bike reflector that an AirTag fits in, and so you don't even see it. It just looks like a bike reflector. And so that's on my bike, and I feel confident now that if someone stole my bike, I know where to go find it. Or if I lost my bike, I have been places in Madison where I lost my bike. So there you go. But I heard that Skechers was going to create kids' shoes with an AirTag in the sole. So
clever.
Yeah, I just saw that today. Yeah.
So it would be better if they did it without announcing it. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's at the point, if someone gets kidnapped, the first thing that the kidnappers are going to do is strip off all their personal items and throw them outside of the car or wherever it is that they're at.
Yeah.
Hold on. I have to take notes, Guy.
If I was a 10-year-old, I would be getting my switchblade out and cutting that sucker out of my shoes.
I want to know what kind of place you lived, Marty, where 10-year-olds carried switchblades.
Oh.
Earth.
Oh,
I grew up. I grew up in places with 10-year-olds with switch.
Yeah, I what I can't figure out is why any airline would not just love this. Yeah. From a customer perspective, if you assume, and this may be a very naive assumption, but if you assume that they spend any time trying to find a bag, and that again may be very naive, but if they spend any time trying to find a bag, this would, that's money. And then if they find it and they can't find it promptly, they have to drive it to your house. And for usually the airport that I fly out of, it would be like a 2.5 to 3 hour round trip for somebody to deliver my bag to me. Yep. So why wouldn't you do this? I mean, I've been fascinated by the late comers to this, that somebody woke up finally and said, hey, this is a great idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had SeaTac tell me they had no idea where my bag was, and I walked right up to it and I said, that is my bag. Right there. I could find it. And they're like, how'd you do that?
And you just beep it.
Yeah, right there.
That brings all kinds of other problems.
Yeah. So one last thing, there's another card I have too that it's made by a company called Smart Card. This one here, and that they added the little opening at the top of the card. So, like for those of you who have, like I do, you have your ID, your key badge, to get into your office. You can put that on your key badge, so it's with you. And then if you lose your key, if you lose your key card, then you also can track that, and because it's going to be attached using the loop that it's part of. So. Nice. But I have a link in the show notes from this device.
And I don't think I told you I used to do tile, and once I was in LAX, and I just decided to mark my back as lost, and it never found it. I'm like, you know how people are in LAX, and then not one person it pinged off of. I'm like, this doesn't even work. This works.
Yeah. So, but great to hear. I'm glad the airlines are doing more and more support of this. So, then last story here: Dropbox passwords is shutting down. You'll have to act fast. Dropbox announced this week that their password manager, Dropbox Passwords, is shutting down soon, and you don't have long to find a new solution. Well, I don't think there's going to be too tough of a time finding a new solution. I didn't even know Dropbox had this, honestly. I probably remember them mentioning it, but I've never used it. So by August 28th of 2025, the Dropbox passwords will become view only, and by 10/28/25, it'll be shut down and discontinued. So just a PSA. Does anybody here use Dropbox passwords? I assume not.
Was not even aware it existed.
When they announced it, the first thing I thought and probably said to whoever was next to me was, well, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, there was someone else who had the password. Maybe it was just Dropbox, but yeah, I just shook my head and just ignored it. So what a great show! A lot of great information this week, and I'm so glad everybody was here this week to listen. Shout out to everybody in the chat at youtube.com/intouchwithios. I saw Brett in the chat, as well as Webb Bixby and a number of others. Great to see you all. Thanks for being here. But before we go, I want to make sure we mention MacStock. MacStock 9 did wrap up for this year, and we all missed it already. And it seems like it was just yesterday. But they do have they do have an amazing digital pass. So Mike Potter's working hard to get that completed, and all the attendees that attended this past conference is going to get access to it, so they can relive all the great presentations we did for those 3 days. So if you go to macstockconferenceandexpo.com, or there's a link in the show notes, we'll bring you right to the digital pass. It's well worth it to purchase this pass and be able to watch all the great presentations that happened, including Mac Voices Live, when we did a live event on Saturday night. That was a heck of a lot of fun, and Chuck, you posted that out on your site, so go watch it there as well. So you're gonna have some great stuff to see, and come check it out. So again, it's mac.conferenceandexpo.com, and the link's in the show notes directly to the digital pass. And Mike did announce next year already. So July 10th, 11th, and 12th, 2026 is going to be MacStock 10 versions of MacStock. I can't wait to do it already. So we had so much fun. So I'm sure everybody else here agrees. Most of us that were there, we still missed you, Guy. We really did, but you got next year.
Yes.
So with that, let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on BlueSky and Mastodon at InTouchWithIOS. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at intouchwithios.com/coffee. We would really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/InTouchWithIOS. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you are notified when we are live streaming, which everybody did in the chat this tonight. That's at youtube.com/InTouchWithIOS. We always live stream at Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can watch the current and past live streams, as well as listen to past shows. Visit In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where many of the topics we discuss are flipped into that magazine. The link is in our show notes. You can subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts. I'll even mention Spotify just for you, Guy.
Thank you.
And we're out there too, and many others, but better yet, go to our website, intouchwithios.com, where all the links are always to listen to us are right there on that site. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me on BlueSky and Mastodon at DaveG65. And let's mix it up a little bit. Jeff Gamet, I'm so happy you are here. As always, where can people find you?
I'm super happy to be here. And when I'm not out spamming people's text messages for Chuck's political career, you can find me on the social medias as J Gamet. Right now I'm posting mostly on Mastodon and BlueSky and PixelFed. And then for shows, Tuesdays on Chuck's Mac Voices Live, here on Thursdays for In Touch with iOS. Thank you to both of you for letting me be on your shows. The Big Show and the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. Brian Chaffin and I do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch. And I want to point out that Patrice convinced me to do an episode where we watch something completely... I love your mug. That's a great mug. She convinced me to watch a show that's so completely outside the realm of what I normally watch, and then do an episode for that. Patrice convinced me to watch the pilot episode of Gilmore Girls.
Oh my gosh.
So if you want to hear me...
I gotta listen to that one.
Go deep into Gilmore Girls and overanalyze it, just like I do Stargate SG-1. Go check out that episode.
That's amazing.
I have to check that out. That's going to be amazing. Thanks, Jeff. Guy Serle, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And tell us where we can find you, as well as about your exciting new podcast.
Well, I appreciate you letting me on, Dave, as well as Mac Voices on Tuesday nights. The new show is simply called The G-Men, and that's over on Spotify, but it also is over there in Apple Podcasts and Overcasts and every other casts program that's out there. We just recorded our first episode, which went live on Wednesday, and the plan is to start releasing our shows on Wednesdays. The one nice thing about both Gaz and I being retired is we can record a show any damn time that we want to, and it doesn't really matter.
That's right.
And so that's what's going on with that. You can also contact me, Guy, at mymac.com. I am Mac Pettit and Vert Shark over there on X. Vert Shark over there on YouTube. I am also Mac Parrot on BlueSky, and we have a telephone number that you can call, 703-828-4677, 703-828-4677. Leave a message, and it will very, very likely be on the next G-Man show.
Great. Thanks for being here.
Same show, same hosts, same nonsense.
Just same fun.
Same shenanigans.
Marty Jencius, thank you for being here and then making the effort to be here. I know you're traveling and in my hometown here. Where can people find you?
Well, in a few minutes, you can find me at Super Dogs on North Milwaukee Avenue.
North Milwaukee and Devon.
Yeah, getting
That's for ketchup.
I'll put it in.
There won't be ketchup on a hot dog in Chicago. Never.
And you can find me, Jencius, Jencius, at mastodon.social, also at BlueSky. Monday nights with Eric and Dave and sometimes Daniel doing the Vision Profiles podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can pick it up any time after that if you like. Tuesdays with Chuck on Mac Voices, Thursdays here with the gang. I just appreciate the people I get to hang out with. And occasionally, sometimes on Friday mornings with the British Tech Network and the Mac Show. Want to find out other things I'm doing, just go to thepodtalk.net. That website will give you links to other podcasts that I'm involved in, and maybe future ones that I'll be involved in too. So thanks.
Going to be up to 20 in no time. Yeah, thanks, Marty. Chuck Joyner, thank you as always for being here. I really appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at macvoices.com. That's where we always have a lot of great conversations, not just the Mac Voices live shows on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern that everyone was talking about on YouTube at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV, but also just in general. I've got a number of things lined up in the next coming weeks already. It's just a matter of getting everybody's schedules together that are going to be, we're going to get back to some basics, which I'm really happy about, as well as continue what we're doing. The one thing, though, I was kind of distracted there for a minute because I needed to look up the Gilmore Girls because I'm not even sure I ever heard of this, let alone watched it.
It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I'm culturally inept, apparently.
Well, Chuck, you should check out that Retro Rewatch episode. Because
I'm going to go listen to it today.
It was new, totally new territory for me.
Should I watch this? Should I watch the episode before I watch you listen, Jeff?
If you want more context, sure.
Okay. Who knew? Okay.
All right. I know. I'm amazed. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it. Jill McKinley, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you. I'm so glad you're with us every week. Where can people find you?
You can find me at startwithsmallsteps.com. I'm working on a homepage for everything else, but you can also find me on Twitter and X. You can find me on YouTube. I have a podcast and a YouTube video coming out every day, and I just got Ecamm, so I'm doing all sorts of stupid things on YouTube now, so it's very exciting. And appreciate being here and appreciate seeing all of you. So.
Yes. And last but certainly not least, Eric Bolden, thank you so much for being here and your support of the show. Where can people find you?
I can be found on Mastodon at EA Bolden, or at mas.to under EA Bolden. Yeah, it's been one of those weeks. Otherwise, my usual getting in all my OSs with Vision OS on Mondays and Mac Voices on Tuesdays and In Touch with iOS on Thursdays.
All right, thank you. And I join you as well on all three of those shows, including I guess I'm on this one too, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much, Eric, for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support of the show. We're getting some great listeners, and I hope you're enjoying it. And I have an amazing panel here. I'm just really happy, and but we'll continue to entertain and educate you on everything Apple. But until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll talk again soon.